I think we'll wait just another minute or two here. I'll just play a little music while we're waiting. All right. Okay, so welcome everyone. And we might have a couple of other people straggling in, but we'll go ahead and get started. So was anyone that's here today not here last week by any chance? Okay, a few people. Perfect. I'll do a really quick introduction and then we'll go into our evening together. So welcome back to those who are back and to those who haven't been here. I'm Lisa Witter. I'm a psycho-spiritual counselor, and obviously I teach Nondual tantric meditation as well. And so we are working with a topic over the next, 3 more weeks, this week and 2 more weeks, on the view of non-dual Tantra. So you don't have to know anything about what that is, because I'll do a teaching after we do an invocation. So what you can expect for tonight is that we're going to open with a non-dual invocation. I open every class the exact same way. So you will hear the invocation in Sanskrit first, and then you'll hear it again in English. And that's just a way of opening our space together. And then after that, I'll do a short teaching on the view and our practice, what we're going to be practicing, and then we'll go into the practice for the evening. And after the practice, there'll be opportunity for any shares or questions if you have any. If you don't, that's fine too, but I always like to leave the space open in case anybody wants to share anything or has any questions. All right, so with that, I'm going to change this to a drone and we will get started. So just getting comfortable and closing your eyes. Feeling the surface underneath you. And all the different places where your body comes into contact with the surface underneath you. And just taking a moment to sense that support, to acknowledge that you are supported, that there's a ground underneath you, always supporting you. And maybe you can find a little comfort in that knowing or that thought. I'm always supported by the ground underneath me. And gently allowing your awareness to move into the region of your heart. That place, that that space just behind your sternum in the very center of your chest. And then sensing or imagining that your awareness begins to extend in all directions, in front of you and behind you, and to the left and to the right, and even above you and below you, beyond the bounds of your body. Just allowing awareness to begin to expand in all directions. And noticing whatever phenomena are arising within this field of awareness. You might begin with the different perceptions in your external environment. Different sounds. And just noticing sounds in the external environment, how they arise and they subside within this field of awareness. Maybe noticing other phenomena like the temperature of the air on your skin. Noticing how all these different external phenomena arise and subside, but awareness remains constant. You're aware when a sound is present, but you're also aware when a sound is absent. Just allowing all these external phenomena to continue, arising and subsiding in their own timing, and just sort of moving into your background awareness as you move in a little bit closer to any phenomena that we might call sensations in the body. Could be the sensation of the movement of your breath at your nostrils. Could be the sensation of your heart beating in your chest. Any other sensations that you may be experiencing in the body. just noticing how these sensations come and go. No different than the perceptions in your environment. But awareness remains constant. So allowing these sensations to move into secondary awareness along with those external perceptions. They're coming and going within this field of awareness as you move in a bit deeper into your cognitions, thoughts, maybe emotions. Noticing how thoughts and emotions are no different than perceptions or sensations. They also come and go. And in fact, these thoughts and emotions have no more inherent value than, say, a sound or the sensation of your breath. And just allowing all of these different phenomena, perceptions, sensations, cognitions to arise and subside within awareness as you become more aware of being aware than you are of the objects arising and subsiding within awareness. And sensing the infinite stillness of awareness. And from within this stillness, sense or imagine that from the base of your heart, from the very center point of this infinite field of awareness, there emerges something like a beautiful tendril of brilliant white light that reaches up through the very center of your body to the crown of your head, and at the instant it touches the crown of your head, it blossoms into the most magnificent 1,000-petaled lotus flower. This 1,000-petaled lotus flower gently sitting at the crown of your head, and the lower row of its petals begin to turn downward as if they're gently hugging or embracing the crown of your head. And in the very center of the lotus flower is something like a markless white moon. A luminous moon which holds in its center a pair of slippers or sandals. And these slippers represent the feet of all the wisdom masters, all the saints and sages, all the yogis and yoginis who've walked this path before us. You may even imagine these wisdom masters congregating above your head as little points of brilliant white light, or maybe you see them in their white light bodies, or you just feel them there. And as you hear the non-dual invocation, sense or imagine that flowing from the feet of all these wisdom masters is a golden nectarian light of blessings, which pours through the crown of your head, through the very center of this lotus flower, spilling down through the stem and into your heart, saturating, permeating the very core of your being, and then permeating outward, radiating outward beyond the bounds of your body like rays of a sun in all directions. These blessings extending beyond time and space. Atma Tvam Girija Mati Sahachara Prana Sharirangarham Pujate Vishayo Pabogarachana Nidra Samadhi Stati Sanchara Padayo Pradakshina Viti Stotrani Sarva Gira Yad Yat Karma Karomi Tat Tadakilam Shambho Tavara Dinam Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. You are myself, my core, my essence. The goddess is my mind, and my pranas are your attendants. My body is your temple. And enjoying the objects of the senses is my worship of you. My sleep is your state of samadhi. Wherever I walk, I'm performing worship of you. All my words are hymns of praise to you, and all my actions are worship of you, O benevolent one. Externalizing your awareness feeling the surface underneath you. Gently, in your own timing, opening your eyes and coming back into our space together. So welcome once again. Does it feel a little cold in here to everybody? Can we maybe just turn it off, I guess, at this point? We got it cooled down a bit. Now it's a little cold. It's an effective air conditioner. Thank you. All right, so we are studying the view of non-dual Tantra. And last week, if you weren't here last week, don't worry, I'm just going to do a recap right now. Last week we talked, we went over the full view, but all you need to know is this, pretty much the first sentence of the view, which is all that exists throughout all time and beyond is one infinite divine consciousness. And that invocation that we just did essentially says the same thing in the very first line, Atma Tvam, you are myself. And this is the part of the view that we're going to explore tonight, which is very, very important because, as I mentioned last week, and it's the same on the Buddhist path, the cause of suffering is basically a case of mistaken identity. Thinking that we're someone that we're not. Not knowing the answer to the question, who am I, as a direct experience. So that's really our project on this path. The project of non-dual Tantra is awakening to our true nature, knowing our true nature as a direct experience, not as a concept. There can be, many practitioners who study for 20, 30 years and have a great idea and can talk about all of the scriptures, but still don't have a felt sense of their true nature. And there can be other people who've only been on the path for a year, know none of the scriptures, but have been able to access and do access their true nature just because they practice and have accessed it. So has nothing to do with how long you've studied or how much you know. It's just the nature of your practice. If you practice and your intention of the practice is to have direct experience. And that's what the tantric path is all about. And so we're working tonight with this concept that what I am is consciousness. I'm not this body. I'm not all of the ideas and the stories that I have told myself about who I think I am. And the one thing I love about non-dual Tantra is that the teachings don't tell us to try to change our thoughts. They don't say, oh, change your thoughts and change your world. They don't say, hey, think better thoughts and you'll be happier. No, what the teachings say is we need to transcend our thoughts. You go ahead and keep having those thoughts. Just don't believe any of the thoughts that you have if they don't help you. Probably a lot of you here know Adyashanti, who had a saying of, thoughts are tools, not truths. And that's a very tantric teaching. Thoughts are tools. They're not truths. If they support you and they help you for the time being, great, use them, but don't believe them if they're not helpful. And the problem is that we become so identified with our thoughts and we believe them that we end up having this case of mistaken identity that causes us to perpetuate suffering in our own life. And I won't get into karma tonight, but what we are going to do for our practice tonight is we're going to do a practice that is extremely powerful, and one that helps us, interestingly enough, to transcend our thoughts about who we believe we are by using the mind in a form of visualization. So we're going to do a practice that's known as deity yoga. So let me backtrack and go back to that first sentence of both the invocation that we did and the view. All that exists throughout all time and beyond is one infinite divine consciousness, and you are myself. And that the you are myself from the non-dual invocation is essentially an affirmation that what I am is the divine. You, who is the you that the invocation is talking about? You, the divine, are myself. And so in deity yoga, what we do is we work with visualization, we work with the subtle body, we work with pranayama, the breath, and we work with mantras. So we get all these yummy elements that we bring together to essentially to identify with the deity as our own being. So the purpose of the practice is to recognize I am the divine. And we get the support of these mantras that have been passed down for lineages and through teacher to student to, back to student to teacher to students. They just sort of waterfall down these mantras. So the mantras are empowered. And when you combine these mantras with the correct placement in the body and the correct visualization, the effect is to become temporarily possessed in a good way by the deity, to become the deity, to experience ourselves as the deity, because that is what we are. So the idea here is to cut through any illusions of separation that we might have or experience, that I'm separate from the divine. And the idea is that, if I can do that, if I can recognize that what I'm experiencing day in and day out is the divine, the power of the divine looking through my eyes, the power of the divine listening through my ears, speaking through my mouth, touching, experiencing life with all of my senses, the senses of this body. And if that's true for me, it's true for everyone else too. So we're all little deities walking around the Bay Area, maybe not knowing it yet. And so this is the case of mistaken identity that we're hoping to, through practice, overcome with time. So as we do this practice tonight, it's going to be, I took a little bit of time, I'll preface this by saying I took little bit of a longer time with our opening, our invocation, because I really wanted to open and settle into the open, spacious awareness, which is necessary for us to do deity yoga, a deity yoga practice. So you will hear mantras. You don't need to know anything about what they mean. You don't need to know the words. All you need to do is be open to receiving the mantras. And to do your best for visualizing the deity as I explain her. Now, does anybody in here have a hard time visualizing? Is anybody in here like one of those people that are like, no, I don't see anything? Sort of, okay, yeah. because that totally happens. Sometimes people go like, no, I can't see anything. Don't worry about that either. Because some people aren't visual, they're more kinesthetic. Do you consider yourself more like kinesthetic? Okay, so then what you're wanting to do, as I describe, is you're feeling into the sensation as I describe the visualization. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, you probably already knew that anyways, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows everybody senses, feels things differently. If you're not someone who sees, you don't have to see. You just go into the felt sense. You imagine, you feel a presence there. Okay, so we're going to dive into this practice. Ideally, you're sitting because you're going to be imagining or sensing that the deity is you. And it's a little bit harder when you're laying down. You want to be seated, imagining the deity. Okay, so I'm going to put on a little bit of background music and then we'll begin. All right, and I think I forgot one thing, so one moment while I grab one other thing that I need. There they are, the bells. Okay. All right, so let's begin. And just closing your eyes, and once again getting settled. Taking a couple of long, slow breaths. Feeling the surface underneath you once again, and noticing just all those different places where your body is in contact with the surface underneath you. And gently bringing awareness to your breath. Feeling, sensing the movement of the breath at your nostrils. And noticing where your breath goes as you breathe in, and where it goes as you breathe out. becoming aware of all the ways in which your breath is like a bridge between your outer world and your inner world. And with each breath, drawing a little more closely into your inner world, as you allow your awareness to settle into the sacred space of the heart, sometimes known as the inside of the inside of the heart, the Holy of Holies, the sacred sanctum of the heart. And finding yourself here in a deep and abiding stillness, silence, and spaciousness. And now sense or imagine a very tiny sphere of cobalt blue light. It's a brilliant point of cobalt blue light here in your heart. This is an essence point, a bindu. It's the essence point from which your energy body emanates. It's the point from which the unseen world of vibration is manifest, including your thoughts, your emotions, and psyche. But also including the energetic substrate that underlies all of reality. Sensing or imagining that all of your thoughts, all of your emotions are a manifestation of this bindu, and that every part of your psyche is infused with the radiant energy of this bindu. And sensing that this tiny point of cobalt blue light is gently pulsating. Now, directing your breath into this bindu, with each breath, sensing, imagining, feeling that you're literally nourishing this bindu with prana shakti, with life force energy. And as you continue to breathe prana into this bindu, it begins to turn into a lotus flower. Very slowly, you see the shape of a lotus flower. It's a lotus flower of light. It's not fully open, but you can tell that it's a multicolored lotus flower. It's a little bud that's beginning to open, but not all the way. Sensing or feeling a pulsation, a very gentle pulsation emanating from this lotus flower. And as this lotus flower slowly begins to blossom or unfold, each petal of the lotus flower holding every mental, emotional state that you've ever felt or ever will feel, past, present, future, all held within the petals of this lotus flower. Continuing to breathe prana into this lotus flower and noticing as it continues to blossom open, it also starts to rotate. And as it rotates, it's as if it's like an unending blossoming. Here in your heart. Sensing the beauty of this flower that holds the entire range of mental and emotional states within it, from the most ecstatic joy to sublime peace, from absolute disgust and hatred and revulsion to profound acceptance and forgiveness. The entire range of mental, emotional states. From overwhelming anxiety to deep and abiding relaxation and trust. From heart-wrenching grief to soaring ecstasy. All of it is held. And this beautiful lotus flower that's gently rotating and blossoming in your heart. And perhaps you can notice how you don't feel any sense of aversion or attachment to these emotional states represented by the petals of this lotus flower, but instead from this perspective, having the recognition that all of this is part of one divine flower. And every breath that you take nourishes this flower. And feeling yourself perhaps being overcome by the magnificence, the beauty of this lotus flower, maybe feeling a sense of awe. It's as if this lotus flower continues to reveal more and more of itself to you. There's hidden petals within it that become revealed. And as they're revealed, you sense them, you feel them. And this lotus flower might feel like it's held within your body, but in reality, it's consciousness itself, holding the full range of mental, emotional states that are simultaneously part of and separate from your unique individual experience. And this lotus flower and everything that it holds has been given into your care for this lifetime. And you are the vast awareness that unfolds the sacred lotus of the heart. Sensing now that this lotus flower is fully blossomed, fully opened, and it's stopped rotating. And you can see that within its center is a circular structure. It's like a soft, cushioned pad that awaits the arrival of the supreme goddess, Para Devi. In a moment, you'll hear a mantra, and as you do, sense or imagine or just feel her arrival in her translucent white light body. She is dripping with jewels, with diamonds and pearls. Her body is draped in gorgeous white and pink silks with hints of gold, and her left hand holds a sacred text with her secret mantra inscribed on it, and her right hand holds prayer beads, a mala. And as you hear the mantra in just a moment, sensing, feeling, or imagining her arrival and taking her place in the center of this lotus flower. Sau Paraya Namaha. Sau Paraya Namaha. Sau Paraya Namaha. I'm feeling her now within you. She's taking her seat within your heart and feeling her silent presence. She's radiating pure love, unconditional love. Filling the lotus flower with her divine light. Allowing yourself to surrender to her grace and her wisdom. Now, in just a moment, you'll hear the mantra again 3 times. And as you hear the mantra, sense or imagine that the translucent white light body of Para Devi begins to expand, so that by the end of the 3rd time you hear the mantra, she has enveloped your entire body, becoming even bigger than your body. Sau namaha. Om. Sauhu. Padaya namaha. Feeling yourself now surrounded by the translucent white light body of the goddess, and you are now seated in her heart. You're surrounded by shimmering white light with traces of gold. And just basking in her beautiful radiance, allowing yourself to be permeated by the goddess as she is literally breathing you. Feeling yourself permeated by her infinite love, manifest as every single possible form of energy. Now, in just a moment, you'll hear the mantra 3 times once again. And with each repetition of the mantra, sense or imagine that Para Devi begins to shrink back down again, so that by the 3rd time, the end of the 3rd mantra, she's once again seated in your heart. Om. Sauhu. Padaya namaha. Om. Sauhu. the Supreme Goddess is once again sitting in the center of the lotus flower in your heart. And now allowing her form to dissolve into the multicolored lotus that she's sitting upon. And then allowing the multicolored lotus to begin to dissolve into the radiant blue bindu, that tiny cobalt sphere of light. And sensing that the bindu now retains all of that power, all of the energy from this activation, retaining the goddess essence of the heart bindu. And just opening yourself now to receiving a mantra, a beautiful mantra. As you hear the mantra, you might wish to imagine it as a golden nectarian light flowing through the crown of your head and straight into that blue bindu, and then radiating outwards in all directions like the rays of the sun. Akalanka Shashankaba Triyaksha Chandra Kalavati Mudra Pustaka Sadbahu Patumam Paramakala Naumi Chit Pratibam Devim Parambhadavayoganim Matrmana Prameyonsha Shulambuja Kartaspadam Akalanka Shashankaba Triyaksha Chandra Kalavati Mudra Pustaka Sadbahu Patumam Paramakala Naumi Chit Pratibam Devim Parambhadavayoganim Matrmana Prameyonsha Shulambuja Kartaspadam Akalanka Shashankaba Triyaksha Chandra Kalavati Mudra Pustaka Sadbahu Patumam Paramakala Naumi Chit Pratibam Devim Parambhadavayoganim Matrmana Prameyonsha Shulambuja Kartaspadam May the supreme power, Para Devi, protect me. She who is as brilliantly white as the markless moon, three-eyed, adorned with the crescent moon upon her hair, showing the gesture of consciousness with her right hand and the book with her left. I worship the goddess Pada, enthroned on the central lotus above the three cusps of the knower, knowledge, and the known, the creative surge of consciousness that is the all-embracing consort of Bhairava. Now, without opening your eyes, taking your hands to your mouth and whispering the silent mantra, whispering her mantra, Om, Hreem, Shreem, into your hands 3 times. Feeling your hands activated with the mantra, taking your hands to the crown of your head as if pouring the mantra through the crown of your head, allowing the mantra to spill in like divine nectar into your heart. Feeling, sensing that any thoughts or feelings that are present are perfect expressions of the heart bindu. And then just taking your hands, blessing your head, blessing your forehead, maybe rubbing your arms, your chest, and the rest of your body. Blessing all body parts with the mantra. Coming back to rest. And feeling the activation of this practice. Maybe even feeling this body vibrating, buzzing with Shakti, with the power of the goddess. And as you slowly begin to open your eyes, maybe only opening your eyes a quarter of the way so that all that enters is a bit of light, maybe a tiny bit of form. Keeping your gaze very, very soft. Opening your eyes maybe halfway and sensing that the power that's looking through these eyes is the power of the goddess. Keeping the gaze soft as you open about 3/4 of the way. Sensing, feeling the power of the goddess looking through these eyes, hearing through these ears, sensing through this entire body. As you bring your eyes fully open, but maintaining that soft gaze, reposing for just another minute or so here in open awareness. Om. And so the space is open. If there's any shares or comments or questions, we're open for that. Yes.
One share, I noticed that when we were doing the flower blooming and all the energy, as well as the goddess entering and her energy, I noticed that I did feel the energy in my heart and the blooming to an extent, but then there was a point where it felt like blocked from going any further than that, and I felt that there was doubt there, as well as almost like it didn't want to open more than that, and was not even like capable of like imagining more than that.
Yeah. I mean, an infinite number of experiences are possible in this practice, and as long as you don't interpret that as something bad, like it was blocked, as long as there's no interpretation around that's bad, that's just the flavor of experience that was present and prevalent for you in your practice today. And that's just as much part of the divine as any other experience. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Who was the goddess that we were inviting in? I'm not familiar with this.
Yeah, her name is Pada Devi. So she's the supreme goddess of the Trika lineage. And you don't really even need to know anything about her in order to receive the goddess, right? Because from the non-dual perspective, all of these goddesses they're just different facets of one. So you can, even though I offered sort of a visualization, could really be any version of a goddess that you wish on that. But great question. Did you have a question too, or share? Yeah, thank you. She's here, she's present all the time. Sometimes it just takes someone to guide you. Like, it's like showing you a map, you know what I mean? Or like someone taking you and showing you, this is how you access her. And it's sort of what I see myself as doing up here. And so I'm happy that you were able to have that experience. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
This is an observation that I would love you to comment on because I know it's part of what you teach. We practiced knowing the goddess inside, individually, goddess that excludes nothing. And we have a teacher who likes to say it's an inside job, and I like to reply yes, and it's also an inside out job. And so we know the goddess not just as individuals, each of us as an individual, and we do know that, and sitting together in this room, we are also knowing the goddess as one love.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you to comment.
I mean, beautifully said. I don't know if I have anything to comment on. Very beautifully said. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful observation. And I really don't have a comment other than yes. Y-E-S exclamation point. Yeah. You know, I have a teacher, and I think I said this last week. Part of this part of our practice together, this sharing, is the goddess appearing as each of us sharing, you know, like as my teacher would say, and I would just reflect what she says, it's like, this, I'm not the teacher here. I'm just a part, we're all part of this together. And so these types of shares and questions are really, you know, the goddess asking the question, well, who is the goddess of this tradition? It's the goddess sharing, wow, I felt this. You know, it's the goddess sharing an insight. It's beautiful. Yeah.
I would just really like to share that I was really moved in that practice. There's like, well, there's a lot I'd like to say, and what I will say is that like I'd like to share, if it's okay, what came up for me during the flower practice was like the lines of this song from an artist that we really respect, and it's you know, it was bringing me to tears because like right now it's just a lot that I'm going through my life, and you were talking about like, you know, like all of the ranges of like emotions and the different phases that like we all go through, going through the different emotions, and like then coming to acceptance and all of that. And this song, the lyrics to this song really connected with me during the practice, and I felt like what J. Cole says in this song is like it's like he was in the space, but like not being physically in the space. And he says in this song, I'm loving your light, vulnerable, letting your guard down, dishonorable, especially when I'm loving your light, vulnerable, letting your guard down, dishonorable, especially when the world ain't been that friendly to you, but there's magic in that. You the flower that I gotta protect and keep alive in the wintertime. Hey, don't you die yet. You've been way more than a friend of mine. We more like fam. I raised you, you raised me. This turn this whole life round. You can confide in me. I could take the weight up off your shoulder, please, and try to store the pain inside of me. Like, why do world do you like that? Like, they don't know you God sent, but me, I view you like that. I'm sneaking glances, thinking God, Daddy drew you like that. Beautiful black child, come and share your black cloud for your smile and your cloud. I don't mind a little rain. I'm your dog, ears perked up at the sound of your name.
Wow. That was pure transmission right there. Thank you. Oh my God, that was amazing. I was hoping you were gonna say, you're like, in these lyrics, I'm like, I hope she's gonna say, I hope she's gonna say that. Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah, when I think about those lines of the song, like I have a friend that I think about, like whenever we talked about love songs, like we talked about like, you know, like what's the word? What's it called? Like when dedicating, like you're singing the song, but like to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like when that dance between like the goddess and like us, allowing her in the lotus of our heart, and then us being in the lotus of her heart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that like, it's that that recognition that there is no division. She's within and without. Well, this is what you were saying, right? She's within and without, and we're within and without, and it's like the paradox. And we're living that, like when you can sense that paradox, that's the, I don't know, this is where the wordless thing comes. It's like no words does it justice, because it's this experience that could never be described in words and give justice to it. And I sense that a bit with you sharing just like the immensity, like what I experience when I hear you is the overwhelm of the experience of something so great and awe-inspiring, and yet like there's these words, And they weren't the words that I said. They were words from, they were words from another artist, but that is, even those words of the artist coming through you into this room are her.
Yes.
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 I love that. Gives me goosebumps. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Beautiful. I feel full. Oh, so we'll be back again next week with a whole different type of practice. There's all, like I said, the tantric practices are a range, right? There's a ton of them. And thank you so much for the pleasure of practicing together. I feel like there's, it's so nice to be in community and practice. I've taught a lot online for a lot of years, and I teach, by the way, at the Green Yogi on Monday nights. So after I'm done here, if anyone ever wants to come to the Green Yogi on Monday nights at 7:30, I do the same exact thing over there. But I tell my students, my favorite time of the week is always when I'm doing in-person stuff. It's the best ever. So thank you. It's such a gift. And I look forward to seeing you all next week or the week after or whenever. Thank you. Be well, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you.